Francisco Luis Febres Cordero, now known as Saint Miguel Cordero, was born in Cuenca, Ecuador on November 7, 1854, to Francisco Febres Cordero, his father who taught English and French in the seminary, and Ana de Jesus Buñoz, his mother who was active in charity works. He had two siblings, Aurelio Febres Cordero and Ana de Jesus Febres Cordero. He was born crippled with an infirmity or weakness of the feet, which made him incapable of standing or walking. This was cured at the age of 5 when he received the vision of Theotokos, or the Mother of God. At the age of 8, another miracle saved him from being attacked to death by a wild bull. He was homeschooled as his mother took great care of him and also took charge of his education until he was 9. However, what followed was the death of his mother. After his mother's death, he welcomed his stepmother Heloy Santillan and half-brother Benjamin Febres Cordero. In 1863, Saint Miguel was enrolled into a school that the Brothers of the Christian Schools ran, and so began his journey with the Brothers of the Christian Schools.
At the tender age of 15, Saint Miguel was already a gifted teacher. He taught Spanish and religion to the kids in Ecuador. Because of his mastery of the Spanish language, he published his first book about the language at the age of 20. It soon became the standard text for Spanish. He published more books and researches which led him to connect with other scholars all over the world. Because of this, he became a member of the National Academies of Ecuador and Spain. Despite being a star student, he never forgot his passion for teaching. He still taught little children about religion, and he even helped in preparing young men for their first communion. The students admired him the most for his simplicity, even with the achievements he has received in his life. He was also admired for his directness, concern for the students, and his intense devotion to the Sacred Heart and Virgin Mary. In order to accomplish his junior novitiate, Saint Miguel transferred to Premia de Mar, a municipality located in Spain. Unfortunately, a violent revolutionary outbreak between the Spanish army and political groups took place during his time there. As such, Saint Miguel heroically took the initiative to help evacuate his young charges to Barcelona. Besides this, Saint Miguel was also highly knowledgeable in the Spanish language. During his youth, one of his first published works was a Spanish grammar textbook. Eventually, his books were able to reach scholars all over the world and began to be used nationwide. Furthermore, it was due to this that he was assigned by the order to translate French books into Spanish for his fellow brothers that were exiled from France.
After returning from Spain, he contracted pneumonia and eventually died at the age of 55. His untimely death, while unfortunate, did not hinder his memory and works from being celebrated by his colleagues and followers. He is remembered as a wise and intelligent scholar and teacher, as well as being a pious man. Eventually, he was beatified by Pope Paul in 1977 and was later canonized by Pope John Paul II in 1984, making him the first male saint from Ecuador. Saint Miguel displayed many virtues throughout his life. He is simple and humble, as he never used his family's influence for his own personal gain. In fact, he dismissed this when he chose to be a student of the De La Salle brothers and eventually taught on his own. He showed commitment, resiliency, and service in his profession when he taught to the less privileged sector in Ecuador and translating books from French to Spanish, and even supervised the evacuation of young charges during the revolutionary outbreak, all while having a delicate constitution himself. All this, stemming from the fact that he has integrity and generosity, Saint Miguel was steadfast in his beliefs and morals and was generous in sharing his knowledge and resources with anyone in need. It is of no surprise that he is still being venerated today and remains to be an inspirational figure to the Lasallian community.